Because xenogears is quite a complex game, I decided to put together a timeline for the events which occur up to the point in the game. This way, anyone that is watching the video will be able to understand what's going on, because a lot of the events occur in the past to the timeline that the actual game is played. But the game only alludes to the events which occur, and as a result can be very confusing for the simple reason that the person isn't given some idea when the events happen, and so they all just seem to be muddled or muddied affair where they're looking at scenes from the past, but they have no idea when they occurred or why, and also why the people are remembering these events which they were not even born around that time. So anyway, I thought I'd give you the timeline from the Perfect Works, which was translated by some nice person. The Perfect Works is a piece of literature which was released after the game xenogears was made, partly because there are those who wanted to understand the history of the game. You have to remember that xenogears was meant to be part 5 of a 6-part game in magnum opus. So anyway, I'm just going to start reading the timeline, and then I'll maybe pause and give my opinion. Now, there's a person I know who will get this reference and think that's quite funny. 2001 AD. The discovery shook the world. An eye-shaped object was discovered in a stratum approximately 3.9 billion years old. From its shape, the object appeared to be artificial. Research organisations made hypotheses about the object, and a public announcement was made to the world. The official announcements about the object helped increase the confusion. This object, if not an artificial creation, was already from a godlike domain. Eventually, the object, which had magnetic properties, was labelled MAM, magnetic abnormal matter, for convenience. Research on a national scale was conducted on the object, but problems arose with the budget, which was eventually frozen. One group of voluntary researchers continued with the very much detailed analysis. These researchers gave the object another name, and remember, listen to this carefully. The name was called Zohar. The interstellar war gets more violent. Deus runs wild. 7th millennium. So the year is 4743 AD. Through the land of archaeological researchers and others, a relic from the lost Jerusalem. Now, Jerusalem refers to Earth, which at some point becomes so polluted that mankind leaves it, and it becomes a place which is off bounds because they want the Earth to recover. So it becomes off bound, and eventually the planet Earth becomes lost because people forget where it is because of the time span that passes. So anyway, the lost Jerusalem era, MAM, or Zohar, is discovered. It was discovered on a transport freight ship belonging to cosmic wanderers in a pilgrimage fleet who worship an ancient religion. 4744. Roughly 5,000 years pass and the MAME analysis is resumed. 4750. Through the MAME analysis process, the phenomenon alteration theory comes to existence. I have no idea either. 4751. Top priority was given to competing research on MAME. Project Zohar is started based on this research. 4752. The cosmic conflict becomes aggravated. 4765. The planet where Project Zohar was destroyed through an accident due to ignorance. MAM was discovered drifted and was recovered. 4766. Work on control system Academy and Zohar. By the way, if you actually have read the initial posting I put on part 1, you'll know what Academy is. Or anyway, is finished for the time being. Academy's central element, Persona, is developed, although the details are unknown. The Strategic Integration Weapon System, DAS, is developed to stop the current cosmic war. Sohar is to be used at its main engine. 4767. The March. Sohar begins. DAS main engine. Both systems were connected at NGC 6744. It's a planet, I guess, aka Mictam 04 Beta Immigrant. I'm reading what it said. Planets. Immigration was taking place at a satellite during construction. That same year, due to unknown reasons, there was an accident and both systems went haywire, invading the environment at Mictam 04 Beta. Quite an enormous amount of damage was dealt. Da's amazing and uncontrollable power was such a threat that the military made a great sacrifice to force it into suspended activity. Afterwards, analysis concluded that Da's core had to be sealed. After an investigation, the Enterprise large space cruiser Eldridge was commandeered by the military. Approximately 120 million workers, survivors, and colonies were safeguarded by going on board the Eldridge. Right, yeah, that makes sense. You put 120 million people on a frigging space cruiser with the the equivalent of General Zod on the same frigging ship, and you're surprised that all hell breaks loose. Anyway, the Eldridge. This explains about the excavation of old relics and mechs. Anyway, the Eldridge. Many ships and buildings that are seen in the game actually came from the Eldridge. Blocks of the Eldridge were composed of warships and other weapons when it embarked. Preistar mobile cruiser Excalibur. After the Eldridge crash, this was excavated and given repairs at Shavat. 5,000 years ago, in the Big War, Sophia got aboard this ship and used it to kamikaze into Merkaba. Anyway, sinking both. So basically, in the game so far, there was a painting of a woman that looked like Ellie. Her name is Sophia, and this is what she did. Preistar mobile cruiser Excalibur No. 2. This was excavated and repaired by Shafat. It became Yggdrasil's sword. Outside of Excalibur, a considerable number of warships embarked. Land assault craft Yggdrasil Mark IV. One of the great variety of offensive powers from the void of space. It had many forms depending on the target, warships, colonies, etc. 2 blocks of the ship. The ship's bow, Babel. Each block that... Now, Babel's important. Remember they were talking about the Tower of Babel? Well, now you know what the Tower of Babel is. Each block that made up the Eldridge's hull was independent. One of these is the Babel block of the ship's hull, which is known as Babel Tower in the game. Another block was an HLV plant, which eventually constructed as the centerpiece of Shavat. The ship's central block, Mahonon. This is the block that contains Raziel, which controlled the whole ship. Like Babel, this was an independent block and had a soft landing when it hit the ground. It contained information on Eldridge, alien civilization and weapons, and the materials that may make up DAS. The Gazelle Ministry did not want this information to be known to the people and made a gate to go and come from Mahonon. Since this ship's purpose was a long-distance journey, it's not an exaggeration to say that small-scale countries were formed. It was a private ship, and the amount of armaments went on during DAS's transfer. Each core part of DAS was stopped from operating and taking part to be put on the Eldridge. The Academy mainframe, this is the biological electronic brain, Persona, was repeatedly called Alpha 1 in the opening movie. So now you know who Alpha 1 is. DAS main body was called Omega 1. So you got Alpha 1 and Omega 1. 4767. Midway through the trip, Deus, in suspended condition, this is obviously what you see at the beginning of the game, unexpectedly started up. Deus was sealed, but it was able to use Sohar to hack into Eldridge's mainframe. The artificial electronic brain Razil metastasis mode started, and Deus changed the Eldridge's plan to the main planet. Eldridge is Captain Shigeyoshi Inoue of the Research HQ, and also a special duty captain, decided to evacuate the ship. He tried to use the ship's blast plug on the hull, but Deus suppressed it and made it use impossible hidden circuits via the spinal shaft were executed. This caused the reality, and the Eldridge lost its mass balance and navigational control. Thus, Thus, the Eldridge hurled into the atmosphere of the nearby planet. Gravity dealt damage to the Eldridge. Well, for fuck's sake. So, I got a bloody message on Skype. So anyway, gravity dealt damage to the Eldridge's hull, and blocks of the ship were destroyed. The Eldridge used its emergency navigation during the collision, which saved some of the blocks in the collision. The central hull of the ship, containing Deus's real form, sunk to the bottom of the ocean. Sohar sank elsewhere, as many kilos per second. Before that, Sohar separated Kakadami from the ship, which had a soft landing near the coastline of a nearby continent. Now you have the new era. 0000. The central element Persona's key program, Eliam, starts system Hawa, HAWWA. The first intelligent life on the planet is born from Animus, and the composition part of Kakadami. System Hawa gave life to the planet's founders, Cain and the 12 gazelles. From System Hawa came Eliam and Miang, excuse me, who were supervisors. Only one life remained from the Eldridge. A boy, Abel, 7 years old at the time, who later happened to meet Eliam. Cain uses a function of Kakadami to mass-produce diverse, natural, original type people. They took the opportunity to increase the life at a set rate. 0010. People's faith in Cain as a god begins. Abel opposes this faith. Abel's ideology becomes an obstacle for Cain. 0011. Cain schemes about doing away with the outsider Abel. Abel and Eliam's fate is death. Miang is the careful supervisor. So you have the unified connection experiment. The connection of Sohar to Deus resulted in the descent of a higher order existence. At that time, a boy unexpectedly made contact with the wave existence. It had a big effect on Deus' self-recovery program. This figure shows the relationship between the various factors at the time. The wave existence was brought into the phenomenon alteration engine, Sohar, through the path of Sephiroth. Abel had made contact with Sohar. Connected with Sohar is the interstellar strategic integration weapon, also commonly known as Deus. Part of Sohar is the biological computer Kakadami, which awakens Miang Hawa. The original bodies of the animals. Have I missed something? Yeah. No. Miang split into Eliam and Miang M40s. Before that, she created the original bodies of the animals. Things are either coloured red, the wave existence side, or yellow, Deus side. The wave existence side is itself the path of Sephiroth, Abel, the original Eliam inside Kakadami, and Eliam. Everything else is Deus side, including the rest of Kakadami. Each part of the diagram has little blurbs about it. Here they are. And you had the wave existence. This higher order existence has no flesh. From our perception, it is a wave. Before the birth of the universe, the wave existence was around. Through the phenomenon alteration engine Zohar, the wave existence was pulled through the boundary into the three-dimensional world that we know. Abel, a boy that unexpectedly came across the Army's top-secret experiment. Through some miracle, he made contact with the wave existence and acquired power. Zohar, Deus connection, the start of an experiment with the phenomenon alteration engine Zohar and Deus. Zohar, which emanates infinite energy, from which is called a pseudo-eternity engine. Kakadami, Abel by chance came across the place where the connection experiment became Deus, and Zohar was held and made contact with the wave existence that had descended to this dimension, resulting in the creation of a woman inside. In the game, Abel's mothers will result in the creation of Ellie. The truth isn't so shallow. Timeline breakdown. The outbreak of the Solaris War, Sophia dies. A great 500-year war goes. 9488. There is an attack on the penal monastery. Sophia and Krillin meet the same year. The Nissan teaching collapses. 9490. Ryodikaya dynasty collapses. Kusor, or whatever it's called, is murdered. The Nissan church collapses. 9493. Solaris participates in a coup rebellion, causing Lacan to leave his hometown and meet Krillin. Krillin knows what they're thinking, and the reunion with Lacan and Sophia is soon over. 9495. Sophia becomes a candidate for the Great Mother of Nissan after 7 years going before the leaders of the Nissan Church. Due to her experience with the penal monastery, she becomes the Great Mother at 20 years of age. The Nissan Cathedral was built and their doctrines were reformed. G. Crindle became her advisor. Nissan's military was established with Krillin as a head soldier. 9496. Lacan, Sophia, and Ashura meet again at the monastery. The same year, an alliance of anti-Solaris countries formed near Shabbat. The war with Solaris begins. 9497. Many refugees seek a place to stay after the war and settle in Nissan. Lacan meets Ronnie and Rena, who were in charge of the army. 9499. Nissan gains influence on the ground due to the influx of refugees. The Shavat Council sent the third imperial princess, Zephyr, Sefer, as an ambassador. Nissan formed an anti-Solaris alliance. Solaris raised to the sky while the Soylent, S-O-Y-L-E-N-T, system was established on the surface. Antagonism forms between Miang and the Gazelle Ministry. Krillin recommends Lacan paint Sophia's portrait. 9500. Lacan researched for the anima relics. In the process, he learned of the existence of Zohar. 4 the anima relics were taken from various countries on the land that Lacan and others had stepped on. The Shavat Council had a secret meeting with the Gazelle Ministry. Sophia was killed defending others in the war. She was 25 years old. Miang becomes Shavat's prisoner. Descriptions of the Excalibur and Merkava with pictures. Anyway, there are no pictures. Excalibur, used for the purpose of opposing Solaris Merkava. This cruiser was excavated and repaired by Shavat. Its automatic attacks made it possible to be controlled by only one pilot. Merkava. Created 500 years ago, the Gazelle Ministry decided to build Deus mothership. Although Miang opposed, Merkava was completed during the Great War and used to strike Shabat. Diablos army appears. Krillin's secret maneuvers, Days of Destruction. So 9501. Huh? I just work it. Anyway, 9501. Ronnie discovers traces of warships from the Eldritch Ignis, the Yggdrasil 4, and repairs them for use. Lacan releases Miang from Shavat. He looks for Sohar in Bethlehem and finds it, but his contact with it is incomplete, resulting in the creation of Graph. Graph uses the Eobolis Deus prototype maneuverable terminal weapons. As a result, 96% of humanity is lost or killed. The people led by Ronnie put their total concentration towards defeating the Diabolos. The original Weltal was the key target and the head of the forces. During this battle, Ronnie's brother, Rene Fatima, was killed. Afterwards, Lacan's whereabouts in Ignis are unknown. Well, I know it is. 9502. The people restore Nissan after the Days of Destruction. The same year, Izolde was born. She was the daughter of the great mother of Nissan, Jikrindl, and Rene Fatima. Izolde later became the second great mother of Nissan. 9505. Sefer and the three wise men revive Shavat. 9506. Cain and Krillin meet. Krillin revives the Gazelle Ministry data by transplanting it to the SOL 9000. 9510. Ronnie Fatima founds Aver. The same year, Lacan dies. Lacan's lingering spirit remains and becomes Graph. 9511. Krillin visits Shavat. He gives long life treatment to several people, including Saphir. So basically what happens is Krillin has given other people nanotechnology, which allows them to live for an extremely long time. The same year, the Ethos was founded on the surface to help Solaris manage the land dwellers. 9513. Kislev founded. 9698. Solaris starts its first invasion of Shavat. Krillin forcibly takes action to put limiters on the lambs. 9701. Solaris starts a second invasion of Shavat. Ignis War outbreak, flood of humanity, threat of the gospel. 9715. Ignis War outbreak. Aver proclaims war on Kislev. 9959. Krillin drives towards developing the fifth generation Malakh Malaka Angel and meets Miang 996. 9965. Jessia is born. His parents were Abraham and Maria Blanche. 9969. Rico was born to Sigmund and Anna. He is a demi-human and an ethos conspiracy seems to be involved. He and his mother are expelled. 9970. Hugo Ricdeau or Satan is born one of the 9 children of Shiyuki and Lily whatever. Sigurd Harcourt is born, son of Ave, king of Edbart IV and Shalimar Harcourt. 9975. Krillin creates a copy of Emperor Cain 0808119, or commonly known as Ramses, and works on him for roughly 10 years. 9978. Jessia enters the Jujan. 9979. Rico's mother dies, and underlying cause is excess operations by Ethos doctors. 9981. Faye is born. His parents are Khan and Karen Wong. Ellie is born. Her parents are Erich, E-R-I-C-H, and Medina Van Houten. Bart is born. His parents are King Edbert IV and Queen Marielle. Sigmund's mother, Shalimar, dies. He meets Egbert at the funeral and starts working under him. 9982. A disease spreads from the Soylent system to many third-level citizens of Solaris. Yuga's advanced skills become clear. 9983. Margie is born to Nissan great mother Elvira. Yeah, you heard that right. Elvira. Elvira. Fatima. And Francis Ravan. Jessia and Raquel have a son, Billy. The same year, Sigurd is brought to the Solaris for experiments. 9985. Karen, who's now Miang, realizes Faye is a contact. Karen meets Krillian, and he disposes of Ramses. Ramses kills a level 2 citizen, Carlene Becker, and takes his ID to enter Jugen. So remember that, it's very important. There, Ramses meets the girl who eventually becomes Miang. Hyuga and Sigurd also join. 10 months into the year, Faye's power kills Karen and Miang goes to a new body. 9986. Maria is born. Her parents are Nikolai and Claudia Balthasar. The same year, the elements led by Ramses are formed. Jesse, Ramses, Seitan, Cigar. 9987. There is a goddamn, it's not KU, it's coup de grace in Avar, led by Shakan, with help from Mason and Sigurd, who left Solaris. Bart and Margie escape. 9990. Jesse is given command of Gebler, but leaves Solaris with his family. The same year, Seitan becomes a guardian angel. Maria's mother, Claudia, dies. Maria's grandfather, Balthasar, saves her and takes her and Scibzehn away from Solaris. Rico becomes battling champion in 9991. 9992. Seitan parts in an invasion of the third level of Shavat. Jesse is part of the guerrilla ground troops and meets Gaspar. Billy's younger sister, Primera, yes, you heard that right, Primera, is born. 9993. Jesse gives his household Solaris attacks Elru. Yeah, the demon of Elru. Anyway, the same year, Margie goes to Nissan and becomes Great Mother. 9994. Ellie enters the Jugen. Seitan marries Yui, and Midori is born. Midori. Jesse works with Joshua, back in Shavat, and takes his face after his death. Hey, don't have a go at me. I'm not only reading this, I'm having to translate the frigging thing where the person's made mistakes. 9995. Bart's gear Brigandia is completed and participates in its first battle. Billy's mother Raquel is killed by Wells. Stone takes Billy under his wing. 9996. Faye's father Khan and Graf fight again. An injured Faye is brought to Lahan. Emperor Kane sends Hyuga to the surface under the name Seitan Uzuki. Maria and Balthasar go to Shavat. 9997. Bart and Sigurd each lose an eye in an incident with the slave generator. Billy's father, Jesse, returns home. Only a couple more now. 9998. Ellie goes crazy from the drive, or the drug that she's taken, by the way, if you haven't guessed. Her father, Eric, resigns as head of the Soylent system. Yes, you heard that right, Soylent. I wonder where they get that from. Wouldn't be Silent Green by any chance. But anyway, Billy becomes an Etone, or some religious dude, and opens the orphanage. 9999 game start time. Now, just one last thing before we finish. We're going to go over the social structure so that you have at least some idea what the hell's going on as well in the real time. Social structure is a complex look at the various political and social aspects of the various countries in the xenogears world. So you had the Holy Empire of Solaris. In the top left hand, is the crest of Solaris, which you can't see, which is the tree of Sephiroth. It is also the crest of Merkava's main cannon. So you'll see eventually when you see the Merkava, you'll see the crest, but I won't tell you when. Below this we have a picture of a general purpose Solaris gear with a small blurb about it. Various optional parts equipped to the gear allow its easy interaction with the environment. These are a majority of the war power that Gebler possesses. At the centre is Heavenly Emperor Cain with the Gazelle Ministry, which there are 12 members, Gebler Ethos, Holy Assembly and Department of Strength surrounding him. The defence force head is below. 1. So you have this is the structure downwards. 1. Heavenly Emperor Cain, the highest person of the power of Solaris. However, with the appearance of Krillian and Miang in the forefront, this power is diminished. 2. Gazelle Ministry. The Gazelle Ministry are 8 men that pretty wrong, I thought it was 12. 8 men that exist as a computer data on the Sol 9000 machine. They are counsellors to the public and are the administration that rules Solaris, along with Cain and Krillian. 3. Head of Defence Krillian has been given authority regarding this since no National Assembly exists. He is the highest power in the Solaris with jurisdiction to the Emperor. 4. Guardian Angel, a general term for the special official appointed by the Emperor, head of Gebler and the Ethos. He has a high level authority and has been transferred for his official duty. 5. Holy Assembly Jujin trains the bodyguards who are managed authorities appointed by the Emperor. The head of Jujin manages each domestic set. 6. Church Gebler. And then it goes through a few other bits here, like there's the financial department. Communication department handles communication affairs for an entire Solaris homeland. This agency holds the practical power of the Holy Assembly and the Department of Foreign Affairs. The Thames. There is a small diagram on the bottom right part of the page. Right, yeah, whatever. This shows the Thames relationship with the factions in the area, namely the Yggdrasil, which they are on friendly terms, and with the Ethos, who are business partners. And if you really need to give a shit, here's information about the war between Aver and Kislev, and it says that the Aver had 80% of the ships, Kislev 22%, gears, Aver had 35%, Kislev 27%, Solaris had 3% of the warships and 12%, yeah, blah blah, who cares. Now, last thing before I finish, regarding Miang. Now, this is what happened. I mean, I do explain in one of the parts of the game, but I think it's important enough that it should be gone over once more. Miang was created, as you know, by the Daya system, and what it was every woman after her has the DNA of Miang in her, but it's dormant, asleep, and it only becomes awakened when the previous Miang dies. So if Miang dies, the nearest female to her becomes Miang, and for some reason has all the knowledge and information that the previous Miang has. So in a way, it's a twist on the reincarnation theory, being that you reincarnate and come back as a baby. As soon as Miang dies, her knowledge gets transferred to the next person, and Miang continues. And in that way, Miang has thousands of years of knowledge and history of the past. And because she speaks directly with Cain, who's also created by the Deus as well, they've got different perspectives, and she also probably communicates with the Gazelle, and she most likely talks to Krillian at some point. So anyway, I just thought I would put this together. I need to edit this first before I post it up online, but I hope this helps, because in the future episodes I will try and give some backstory as to the events, but at least you have some idea what's going on in the game. Alright, well, thanks so much. Bye bye.